lot of stuff we're going to cover today in a short amount of time. One of the things, for those of you who are brand new, we're going to talk just for a couple minutes about true Social Security billing. Most of the agents on this call already know what that is, but we're going to talk about it because we do have a month coming up here in I think November or December that this is going to come into effect. So this is a very important training. We're going to talk a little bit about GTL. I got to bring up something about Occidental. American Amicable did a face amount increase. Liberty Bankers Life made a change to their agent, their agent website. And that's important. We talk about that real quick. And we're also going to talk a little bit about Great Western and when to use them. You know, Great Western, they're a guaranteed issue carrier, guys. That's what they are. But they decided this year they were going to release this level/graded product. And the thing is, you know, some agents are wanting to use it, but I need to warn you, if you use it, that's fine. But the way that Great Western designed this product versus their guaranteed issue product is it's not going to pay a very high commission. It's not going to pay you the same type of commission that you'll get from American Amicable or Prosperity, for example. I do want to congratulate Steve D. Awesome dude. He had a very good, productive September. So guys, a little bit about Steve. He's only been with us for 2 months, not even, I don't think. In August, he wrote about 16,000 of premium. And then last month, he broke the 20K mark. So we want to celebrate certain marks, certain points. And when you write $20,000 in premium in a month, we want to notice you. So we want to recognize you. So again, congratulations, Steve, on writing. You got right at 22,000. So that means this month you got to do 25,000. That's the next step. Agents, guys, those of you who have been with us for at least the past 4 or 5 weeks, I would really appreciate it if you just shot me an email and let me know what your production was. You know, I don't really have a system of figuring out your exact production. So I would love to hear from you guys what that is. So please, you know, those of you on the call, just let me know. Just shoot me an email or even a text. Hey, Doug, this is my final numbers. Guys, you should all be keeping track of this. We have the production tracker tool. If I haven't sent it to you, and I may not have sent it to a few of you guys because I was out of town last week, there's a few agents who I may not have sent it to. So please remind me, hey, Doug, I don't know about this premium tracker thing you're talking about. So the sales tracker, if I haven't sent it to you, please let me know so I can send it to you. Guys, you should all be trying to use that or something like it, some type of CRM. So first, let's talk about true Social Security billing, TSS. These are the carriers that do it. These are the carriers we have that all have true Social Security billing. To me, I'm only leading with a carrier that does true Social Security billing. The last thing I'm going to do is have my main carrier be a carrier that does not draft correctly every time. And when I say draft correctly, this guy, guys, if you take a look at this schedule of Social Security benefit plan, notice in December, notice that little square there on the 2nd. Well, the square is, it signals that the people who receive their money on the 3rd, that's when they're going to get their money. So if you notice in November, they're getting paid on the 3rd. In October, they got paid on the 3rd. But here coming up in December, in 2 months from now, those people that receive their money on the 3rd are actually going to get their Social Security benefits the day before. Now, true Social Security billing means these carriers listed here on the left, our main carriers, American Amicable, Liberty Bankers Life, and Prosperity mainly, are all going to draft the payment on Friday the 2nd. Companies like, I'll give you an example, Mutual of Omaha, Aetna, they're not going to draft it on the day the clients receive their money. They're going to wait until Monday the 5th, if it's not a holiday. So keep that in mind, because we just had, I think September, we had this, or August, we had this, yeah, I think it was September, we had this long holiday weekend. Just keep that in mind, guys. You know, that's what true Social Security billing is. It's when the carrier actually drafts the payment on the exact day the client receives their money every single month. So now you got these companies, let me give you an example, like I want to say Great Western, like AIG. AIG announced a few months ago, we are doing Social Security billing. That's not true Social Security billing. So basically, when they made that announcement, what they are saying is we'll draft the payment on a second Wednesday, third Wednesday, or fourth Wednesday. That's what Social Security billing is. It's kind of silly. So great, but what happens when the third falls on a Sunday and the bank's closed? Well, guess what? AIG, they don't do true Social Security, so they're going to wait until after the weekend to draft the payment. And the problem with our low income clients, a majority of the people that we sell to, is that by the end of the month, they're out of money. A lot of these folks are like, the food in the refrigerator, there isn't much. So a lot of these folks will literally do whatever they have to do to get paid immediately. And so the next thing you know, I had a lady, I won't forget this. I was looking at her bank statement, and she sat there at 1 o'clock in the morning with her debit card, and she had a regular checking account. So she was using her debit card at the ATM machine, trying to pull out money, waiting for it to get in at 1 o'clock in the morning on the 3rd. And I saw all these, they charged her a fee every time she did it, and there was no money. She was getting these $25 insufficient fund fees, that these people get. So I was sitting there looking, I'm like, oh my God, she got like 6 of them. And this lady's just barely surviving. That's how desperate these people are for their money sometimes. They will literally do that. They'll wake up early in the morning to go get all the money that they just received from Social Security. And that's why it's so, and they don't put the insurance first, guys, believe it or not. They will say they do it, and then most of them won't. So that's why it's so important to use a carrier that does true Social Security billing. So now you guys, everyone on this call understands what true Social Security billing is. That's why we lead with these carriers. These are the majority of the carriers we write most of our business with right here. Now, GTL, I got their email yesterday. GTL, those of you who don't have it, I'm going to ask you to log on to SuranceBay, because it's not one of the carriers that I normally tell agents to contract with. And Kurt P, I know I sent you the contracting email this morning. I didn't put GTL on it either. Guarantee Trust Life, they are very important. Now, I love this new feature that they just added here on the right, where now they do a text to sign. That's pretty sweet. So having an e-signature and a voice signature is great, but when you add in that text signature, things just got easier. So that just makes our lives easier. That makes the time that we're spending with the client doing the application process shorter. GTL, let me talk about this product a little bit. Those of you who aren't selling it, because I know Chris Partlow, he's one of, he actually lives near me. He was telling me about a client he wrote yesterday. And I was like, you know what? I need to talk about that on the call. He had a client that had I think a heart attack like 3 months ago. He was able to sell her their graded benefit instead of going guaranteed issue, right? Because that's guaranteed issue everywhere else. A recent heart attack, forget it. Like very few carriers are going to even want to have anything to do with that. But instead of a guaranteed issue, he gave her the graded product. So what does that mean? It says it right here. This is the real difference. Now, it's kind of weird. The death benefit in year 1, it only pays the money back paid into the policy plus 5%. Most carriers pay 10%. Hey, 5% is still a lot more than they're going to get in the bank, right? But here's the cool thing. If they die in that second year, they're actually going to get half of the death benefit, half of that face amount. And if they die after 2 years and a day, they get 100% of the face amount. So that's why I like this product. Now, if you're thinking, whoa, okay, what's the commission on that? It's like a hair more than your typical guaranteed issue, guys. So as far as the commission is concerned, it's not going to pay more. It's basically the same. But the idea is now you've got a better product for your client. They don't do true Social Security billing, but I just want to bring this to your attention. If you don't have GTL, guys, this is a carrier. I suggest logging on to SuranceBay and requesting this product, this Guaranteed Trust Life product. American Amicable, boom. They finally increased the face amounts, as you can see here, from $35,000 to $50,000. Very, very nice. The graded benefit, they and the return of premium, they also increased those $5,000. This is nice. I mean, to me, it's important. I really love their product. Now, I need to bring this up. For those of you who sell in Michigan and Indiana, American Amicable's regular American Amicable product is not there, but their sister company, Occidental, is in Michigan and Indiana. So for those of you who, for whatever reason you live there or you're licensed there, you may want to log back onto SuranceBay and request Occidental, because they are the sister company. Now, here there is a difference between the Occidental product and this American Amicable product you're looking at. Notice how the American Amicable has an immediate death benefit, a graded, and a return of premium. I believe, because I sold this Occidental over the phone years ago, I believe if it's the same way it used to be, there's no graded death benefit. So it's either a immediate level or a return of premium option. And if anybody knows if that's different, please.
Yeah, I can chime in. When I was
you.
doing dental, it's the same in Michigan and Indiana as it is everywhere else. The only state that didn't have the graded and the modified was North Carolina.
Okay, got it. Okay, very good. So there you go. Yeah, Chris has sold a lot of this product. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. Excellent. Also, if you're writing in Indiana or Michigan, just again, please log into SuranceBay and request Occidental. There we go. And Liberty Bankers Life. I need you guys to understand this. They changed their portal. We all got the email. You should have gotten the email this past week. You need to log in. I am telling you, I went to log in to check it out and I couldn't. So before you make the mistake of quoting a client, Liberty Bankers Life, my suggestion is to make sure you can log into this thing and make sure that it's already logged in. In other words, to me, if I'm selling over the phone in the morning, I want to log into all of my application portals and make sure that they're all set up. The last thing I want to do is quote somebody, even, let's say American Amicable, only to go to log in and to realize there's a problem. For some reason, my password isn't right or something. That's why we want to do this. Liberty Bankers Life, I got to give them a call. I can't even log in to see my business with them right now. You don't want to be in that situation. The last thing you want is to go write Liberty Bankers Life and then realize, hey, I can't even log into the portal. That's not going to work. Aetna CVS. Guys, this is something that Chris T pointed out to me yesterday, and which I didn't realize. And it's not in an easy place to see, so you kind of got to look for it. Okay, but they do have the option, just like American Amicable and just like Transamerica, where in the event the client is not approved as applied for, they will automatically lower the face amount to match the premium and give them whatever they can approve them for. So, which is going to be the graded product, or that modified product. Actually, I'm not sure. I think it's a graded product that's CVS. The other thing that Chris was saying he likes about them, and guys, you definitely don't want to lead with this company. Yes.
They also have a standard, so they could go standard.
Okay, so there's preferred, standard, and graded?
Preferred, standard, and modified.
And modified. Okay, sweet. Okay, so there we go. So yeah, you could apply for preferred and they could offer you standard or they could offer you modified. And so Chris kind of learned the hard way that had he checked that box, he wouldn't have had to go back and redo the application. Is that what happened, Chris, with that client?
Yes, that's exactly what happened. I wrote on preferred, did not know that was on the screen until it got declined. And I knew she should have been in pretty good health. So I called the underwriter. I called the office just to see. They said she definitely will be approved standard. Because I didn't check the box, I'd have to go back and rewrite the app, which was fine. I got all that taken care of, but I made her show me where it was at.
Okay, good. So do you remember, can you kind of describe that, or
yeah,
is it?
It's right below where this is what's kind of oddball about it. It's where they ask you, they ask you something about, do they have a Medicare supplement with Aetna? And it's right below those questions.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's in a weird place. Okay, very good. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Guys, yeah, Chris was saying he's having good luck with them. He's like, he and I were talking about Transamerica. I was like, you know what? I'm thinking about adding Transamerica to the cheat sheet because I know some agents write a little bit of them. And he's like, man, it at one point was writing the most. And he's like, no, I'm avoiding Transamerica at this point. I'm just generally, instead of Transamerica, I'm kind of trying to switch to Aetna just because this Ascendo product, these people are getting approved as applied for, and he's having better luck with it. So something to consider, guys. No, Aetna does not do true Social Security billing, unfortunately, but they got their need. Yes.
Another thing about Aetna that I really like too, and you brought this up about the other company that I can't remember who you said earlier about the texting, but Aetna does the security question signature that is awesome. So you just ask them, hey, what's your mother's maiden name? What city were you born in? You type that in, boom, they're done. You don't have to send them anything.
So they don't even have to sign anything. There's no, like literally you're handling. Yeah, that was, so guys, this is the thing to be aware. And this is something I want to bring up, because their signature process is probably the easiest of all the carriers. There's a temptation for you to want to lead with them. I will tell you, I personally know of a guy who was a top producer. His first, he's a heavy producer. In his first year, he just sent Aetna most of his business. He had so many clients fall off the books that it turned into a nightmare. So because they don't draft the payment exactly on the exact day the clients receive their Social Security benefits every month, that's how you lose clients. That's how clients fall off the books. That's how you end up getting paid money that's unearned. And then 2 months later, they fall off the books. Now you're paying that 7 months of unearned money back. So just beware of that, guys. Don't consider it. Do not even think about leading with this carrier. If you do, you're going to be in trouble. You could very well end up in debt.
They also have a very bad policy with first payment NSFs. So if you get a first payment NSF, they will switch the billing to direct billing quarterly. So they will pay you, they will advance you, and then about 4 months later is whenever you'll get the chargeback for 100%.
Man, okay. So there's another reason to avoid.
And I agree with Doug 100%. I still lead with American Amicable. Where I started using Aetna more is situations to avoid. They will approve in certain situations, kind of like Transamerica will, when you're dealing with a diabetic or maybe somebody along those lines, and give a better deal. And I have way better luck on the approval process than I do with Transamerica.
Exactly. So yeah, like Chris said, so he's using it for those people that he would have sent to Transamerica a couple of months ago. He's kind of learned that Transamerica is a real pain in the butt, even though I know you already knew that, but but you're like, the temptation's there. So yeah, they're a good Transamerica replacement. That really is the bottom line. Everybody gets an assignment. We all like homework, right? Sure. Here's what I'm going to ask everybody to do. If you are on the phones this week, whether it's your first week or not, whether it's and I'm going to give this to everybody, whether you've been doing this for months with us, look, the only way for us to better ourselves is for us to work on ourselves. And this is what I touched on before, back when I was selling face-to-face, and I listened to my recording and I was like, whoa, I need to make a lot of changes. And that's what I did. So here's your assignment. Pick one of your calls, one that you didn't sell is what I'm going to suggest, and go ahead and listen to the recording. You guys should all know how to do that. If not, you can shoot Brandon a text and he'll show you how to do it. It's really, really easy. But you should all know how to do that by now. Listen to your recording. Take notes on what you hear that you wish you did differently. Kind of like what I do for you guys, but do it on yourself. You're going to hear yourself saying, you're going to hear yourself like when they give you an objection, you're going to hear what all new agents tend to do when the client gives an objection is we will go, all of a sudden our tone changes. Like we just started like sending them a message of, I'm not sure what to really do, or I'm not sure of myself. They hear that in your voice, guys, stuff like that. So that's the kind of things we want to listen to in our own recordings. So the idea is make the adjustments immediately. Guys, I'm telling you, 1 hour. Most of you, 1 hour is all this will take. For those of you who just been doing this for maybe a week or 3, maybe spend 2 hours. You know, if your numbers aren't exactly where you want them to be, listen to what you're doing. That is super important. You look, and I will even say one step further, like I mentioned before, just shoot me a text. Hey, Doug, can you pick out one of my recordings and listen to it? You haven't sent me any input in a few weeks or what have you, because I know there's agents that have been with us for months now that I haven't. Well, look, I have no problem doing this for you guys. That's how I'm going to help you get better. That's how we all win. All right. With that being said, I'm going to leave you guys with this quote by Sir Jim Rohn. I have no idea who that is, but I like the quote. Practice is just as valuable as a sale. The sale will make you a living. The skill will make you a fortune. Guys, to get that skill, for you to get that skill down, you have to practice. You have to work on yourself. That's why, one of the first assignments that everybody gets is to pick up a specific book. So you guys know which book I'm talking about doing the looping. And to me, that is all just super, super, super important. I hope everybody has an awesome week. Does anybody have any questions or anything else that they would like to add? Excellent. Good stuff. And that didn't take too long. Guys, I hope everybody has an awesome rest of your week. If you need anything, please, you know how to reach me. Do your thing, guys. Happy hunting.